welcome to episode 197 of the Dumb Marks podcast titled 5958. 59 minutes and 58 seconds. That's because this is a Beat the Clock Challenge show, and I'm trying to get off in another hour to play me some college. If you can hear, my mailman is right outside dropping the shit off now. So if you see me cut out, technical difficulties. What's going on, fellas?
Everybody steal that package this morning, huh?
No, not at all.
Cargo over there.
Probably why our other dumb workers off today, playing college.
Oh, yeah. I thought everybody was going to be taking the day off today.
Mars, what up, Mars? Down in the den.
Well,
Shout
Mars.
out down in the den. Go check them out. Mars doing his thing over there. Yeah, college football, man. You want to talk about a bunch of 40-year-olds reliving their youth. Full effect this week. I have not purchased the game yet. I didn't buy it early or anything like that. I've been just watching clips of people destroying TVs, friendships being lost, just the good old days that we were used to when a video game mattered.
Yeah.
It has been classic entertainment this week.
We need to do a Dumb Marks gaming night.
That's all my timeline is.
Yeah. It has been tremendous. So speaking of gaming, did you see the clip of I believe it was on Instagram. It's a clip going around of a guy whose girl deleted his NBA 2K account that was valued at like $400,000. And I don't know that whole world of NBA 2K and what that means, right? But apparently it means a lot because my man lost it. Like, so yeah, he was.
If you're a streamer, that shit counts. If you're just an everyday Joe, you just got to suck that up. And
that's what it was. No, he was a streamer. Like,
if you're a streamer, there's money coming in behind that.
Yeah, valued at $400K. Like he was. Yeah, that's definitely grounds for kick you back and see you out the door. We're done.
So
I'm not saying break up, but let's kick some child apart.
Yeah, there's somebody out there at play if you're not a gamer. So
yeah, no, I'm done. I'm breaking up. We're done. I'm done. Yeah. No. If you're taking away my income and because streamers make a lot of money these days. Which we gotta have that conversation off mic and potentially change up how we do things for one of my outside of wrestling mushes this week. Yeah, man. Nah, we're done. I'm done. Like he spazzed out, broke shit, like TV, all that, and she was like, why are you being so ridiculous? I don't get it. Oh my God, you just ignore our relationship. And he's like, are you not seeing where we live at right now? Like, look at this. All this is because of that game, like that account, and you're worried about, you don't want to kind of want to couch with me while we watch Netflix. It's like, yo.
So we're from the memory. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say sometimes and she did it live. Like she was.
Yeah, it did.
It's like, come on now. There's some shit that's like
ain't working.
Yeah. When Dave Chappelle had a famous sketch, when keeping it real goes wrong. That's when keeping it real goes wrong. Yeah. And kids, youth these days, these streamers, these YouTubers that are out there doing all these pranks and everything else that get you caught up. Go back and watch Chappelle's When Keeping It Real Goes Wrong. Because there's consequences to actions, as said. And man, I felt for him. I did. I felt for him. It hurt the heart to see that.
We're from the memory card era. Mm-hmm. So you can imagine coming back and saying your file's corrupt and you damn near losing on your system.
Oh, yeah.
Add money behind that. Oh, shit would have burned.
Yeah, for sure. 1,000% for sure. Yeah, Mars. That's. We're not going to take it that far, but.
So, speaking of this other guy who's called off, at work, our team was 5 people. We've been whittled down to 2. Me and him. Me and him.
He called off.
This man takes a week vacation. The times college drops. I am not going to be a good mood next week. Nobody at work talk to me. Don't say shit to me. I'm going to be hot doing more than a 2-man workload. for a week.
When he comes back to like COVID.
Yeah, he
Take my
took
vacation.
he took a little jab in the chat too, throwing up that screenshot of Tennessee and beating Pitt. He's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I got a quick game in 49-20." I'm like, "Oh, okay, this is what we're doing. This is what we're
Exactly
doing."
what he was doing.
Yeah. So when I download it and get it, don't be mad whenever I drop that back in there with FSU smacking Tennessee around. So yeah, nah. Before I bring up my topics that are outside of pro wrestling, just from an intro topic standpoint, so I think one of the, I don't want to say scariest isn't the right word, but one of the biggest things that matters are who your neighbors are, right? Because neighbors can make or break a living experience, especially when you're a homeowner, right?
Sometimes.
Bad neighbors, it's the worst. We've seen plenty of clips of that, right? So I got new neighbors. Moved in, right? Outside yesterday, doing the grass, cutting grass. And I met them for the first time. Awesome couple. Fantastic, awesome couple, chatting, everything. And I look, my man got on a Cody Rhodes shirt. I'm like, oh, you a wrestling fan? Because sometimes people, you never really know until you know,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. They both are. I'm like, oh, great. Got 2 new listeners for the podcast. Shout out to you guys for tuning in today. Appreciate you. And then talking some more. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to Philly in a couple of weeks to watch the Liverpool soccer, match against Arsenal. And he's like, you're a Liverpool fan too? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, fuck. I'm waiting to run my Liverpool flag up the flagpole in the yard to get. I'm like, oh, so
Seems like, did we just become best friends?
Yeah, I'm like, oh, you want to come over in the garage and do karate? Like, what? This is going to be a great relationship. Like, he's like, yeah. He's like, come on over for SmackDown later if you're not doing nothing. I'm like, all right, So yeah, so kudos to the new neighbors. Shout out to them. It'll be a great budding relationship with wrestling and Liverpool soccer. There we go. Oh, here he goes. Here he goes. It must be halftime or he's out there on the recruiting trail.
I'm surprised the neighbor's not there right with him, or he's just like sliding in on the video screen.
Oh, don't worry. Don't worry. I'm like, I already got him to slide in and do a run in. I said, I'll call you over for a run in. You can hop on and give some predictions or drink of the week segment. I'll get you to try some drinks. So
you need a couple of drinks a week without us.
Yeah.
Whenever we got like Donald taking off today, got a person to slide right in.
Got to fill in. Yeah. We got role players now. We got bench players now. We start bringing them on. So shout out to the new neighbors and that. So always good to find common ground right off the bat.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
look,
we don't.
All I know is my neighbor got a dog, and the one after him got a dog, and the one after him got 2 kids. That's all I know. I don't know shit else. I walk off once I get off the sidewalk. Blinders, don't talk to me. No.
The best kind of neighbor for me is one that I don't even know that's there.
There you go.
That's true. So yeah. All right. So there's that this week.
Before you get into your thing, I just want to shout out Jason real quick. Hooked me up with that WWE Prime bottle this week.
What a mark.
Cheers.
Cheers.
It's the same Moon Night Blast flavor that
it is.
And it's trash.
Hey, if I say something's too sweet, it's sweet. Tastes like my name is Kane.
He texts me, he goes, I got you that Kane bottle. I was like, Kane bottle? I was like, yeah, I get it now.
So outside wrestling, real quick, before we get into it, because we got predictions for Slammiversary, right? Along with our normal
11 matches.
Yeah, along with our normal Sunday or Saturday fun day that we do here on the show. each week. Outside of wrestling, Mount Rushmore. This is a 1A, 1B. Besides college football dropping this week, Cobra Kai also dropped this week on Netflix. First 5 episodes of the 3-part season 6 finale series
3.
finale.
Yeah.
They broke.
What, this November and then sometime next year?
Yeah.
Okay.
They broke it up into 3 parts. The show just does not miss, man. Like, it never fails. Never fails. Episode 5 will tug on the heartstrings. It'll get you emotional. It'll have you tearing up. And then right where you're there on the cusp of just being an emotional wreck, they hit the swerve on you. And they hit the swerve on you, and it's like, oh shit. And then it show goes off with a famous Sensei John Kreese quote. And now I have to wait till November, and I'm pissed that I gotta wait till November. Because that's how good the first 5 episodes were.
See, I don't want to start it because I know I'm gonna sit down and power through it all.
That's how I feel right now.
And I don't like to allot myself that much time to clear out.
Yeah, but they're I think the longest episode of the season is like 44 minutes. They're like roughly like 35 minutes apiece. So it's not that bad, right?
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe saving it for November and watching those 2 together.
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely gonna go back once the next 5 drop and 5 through 10 drop. I'm definitely going back. See, Mars, I can't wait till 2025 for all 15. That's too long. I can't. Like it'll. I'm surprised I waited till Friday night to watch it because I was gonna wake up Thursday at 3 a.m. when it actually dropped and watch
Donald
it.
did.
Yeah.
There's too many spoilers out in the world to be waiting that long to be. Yeah.
Yeah. So shout out Cobra Kai College. Thank you very much for giving a highlight to the week.
Don says he's out at Cedar Point right now, frying in that heat.
Hey man, stay on vacation, man. Don't be telling us your tales of joy over here. Oh, you miserable and shit.
Yeah, no, it's too hot to be at the amusement park. There ain't no shade, just bacon for bacon. Yeah, but and then my mush of the week outside of the week in pro wrestling is Elon Musk.
Okay,
changed up the X streaming services. Now you have to be a subscription member to be able to live stream on X on Twitter. So for all you people that watch us on X, sorry, not paying for it. So we'll send the links over. You can catch us on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube each and every single Saturday when we go live, or any other time we go live. But I'm not doing it. Like,
no.
This was one of the plays that you was gonna make, and you put it into effect. So yeah, I put him up there for my mush outside of pro wrestling for that move.
I agree.
Yeah, bitch made move, but it is what it is. So you guys will still get the links over on X/Twitter, but other than that, yeah, we're not kicking up fees to pay Elon.
You're not wrong, Mars.
It is. Mine is all porn. I ain't complaining, but it's all porn. That's what mine is. I can't even log on, man. In the day.
Is that early?
You talking about X or you talking about Instagram?
Early clip of the week submission there. So yeah.
So
all right, Jay, where you steering the ship this week? Oh, Taekwon, if you haven't noticed Jay's new gimmick, look at the shirt. We're on week 5.
Week 5, I wear a white woman t-shirt. They say if I go 52 weeks, I get a free Dumb Marks t-shirt. So
nobody's. Yeah. So
let's start with our
Mars. You'd be surprised what's on Instagram.
Apparently, Doja Cat had something happen on Instagram Live with her stream. So
who was that?
Doja Cat. She was live streaming on Instagram and had somebody.
I mean, every now and then you'll see a slip or something.
No, but it wasn't her. It wasn't her. It was. So I don't know what type of. what type of room she was at or setup where she was at, but like she was in, I guess she was in some hotel somewhere, right? And but it didn't look that way the way the room was set up. It looked like it was the same place. I could be completely wrong. But anyways, she was live streaming, right? Camera set up. She's sitting on a couch or something. And above her is like this big window with a curtain, right? And next thing you know, curtain gets pulled back and dude just pulls his pants down, flashes everything, and it looks like he starts rubbing and tugging. And she pauses like, what it? And then all of a sudden he just closed the curtain again. It was like, what just happened right now? Like, is this real deal? Like, I don't understand what's going on. And
Definitely not searching for that clip.
no, it,
You had me in the beginning.
it was not Doja herself.
No. Okay. Good. Spare my time.
Yeah, Mars, don't stamp your name on that. Don't stamp your name on that. So.
Mars and the beanie out there rubbing and tugging. Like,
yo, rubbing and tugging with a beanie on is crazy. That's like you rubbing and tugging with a hoodie on.
What is happening here today?
I have no idea.
Jay's running the ship.
Blame Jay.
Yeah, I'll take the blame. If I'm running the ship, I'll take all the blame. So you want to start with our highs or the lows of the week?
It's up to you, boss man. You out here running it.
Okay, we'll go with the lows so we can lead into the pay-per-view predictions with highs.
Okay.
Who wants to start it?
I'll go first. My mush of the week this week was Cody Rhodes.
The
opening promo last night, not what I wanted to see. There was no fire, no intensity, no nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So you came out, the Bloodline took out arguably your number one mentor in all of pro wrestling. And yes, you came out without the suit on. So I thought, oh shit, business is gonna pick up early tonight. Like, we're ready. Great new t-shirt, by the way.
Yeah.
I like it.
Love it. Right? That and Jacob Fatu Simone Werewolf t-shirts, gotta get those on the list. But then you come out and you pull the gimmick. So what do we want to talk about?
Mm-hmm.
And then talking to the camera. And then from there, it just snowballed into A-Town Down coming out, and that was another added layer to the mush. Why you interjecting them into it? And I get it for how the story played out at the main event, the way they, the way to get Kevin Owens out there so that the Bloodline takes out Kevin Owens. And for all you people that are out there complaining, how many times are they going to run the same ending to the show? Are you not
take everybody out?
Yeah. They're taking now. Cody got nobody left. You know who's going to come in and save Cody?
I mean, technically, they didn't take out Owens last night. They took out Cody.
Well, no, Fatu took out Owens.
I mean, he was out, but not. I mean, I think Cody was the one that technically got taken out last night.
I don't know, that chair shot might have. They could play up that chair spot.
Yeah, I think with Owens, with everything he got going on family-wise with his mom and everything, I think that was done to get him off TV for a while, right? Just so he can go and handle that business. Shout out to Mama Owens for kicking out and pulling through and turning in the right direction there. So yeah, that's not what I want out of somebody that goes through that type of situation.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to come out without the suit on, then that means we're all business.
Throwing hands from the jump.
Yeah, it's on site at that point, right? On site. Like, he should have came out pissed off, hey, I'm not going to ask you what we want to talk about. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to give a 15-minute promo where I tear up and cry. none of that. Solo, get your ass out here now. Cool. And then have A-Town's music hit.
Yeah.
And then you can run it from there.
Yeah. Or not even do the A-Town.
Yeah.
Well, you had to do something for it.
Because like even whenever like Solo had his backstage segment thing, he was like, whoever teams with Cody tonight, you know, you're on the list or whatever, however he phrased it. Just like, what do you care who teams with Cody against A-Town? Like,
Well, yeah, I didn't. SmackDown for me was a mush last night, all in all. But that was
honestly WWE for the week. Like Donald picked a good week to miss wrestling.
I agree. I'd give Bailey. I enjoy Bailey and Thing. That's about it from SmackDown. Bailey, Nia, and Stratton.
Yeah, I mean,
that's about all I enjoyed.
You destroy the briefcase so Tiffy Time can sparkle it up and bedazzle it,
which she already said last week she was going to do.
She said it at the press conference after she won it.
Yeah.
So I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
And she said she was going to make it pink, put a strap so she can carry it around like a purse. And I was honestly last night I was like, okay, she's going to bring out the briefcase. And so now we know when it's coming.
Yeah. So yeah, I didn't. To me, that's not what I wanted to see. You got to get me. You got to get like.
You got 2 weeks?
You got 2 weeks. I'm fine running. Actually, well, yeah. You got 2 weeks.
They tape SmackDown for next week because they're going to be touring.
Okay.
So it's not live next week, and then the SummerSlam the weekend after.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm fine with them running Cody and Solo at SummerSlam. You just gotta get me there, and right now it's not there. Which I can say with a couple matches on that card so far.
Right now, I just feel like Solo and Cody is all about Roman returning.
That's if he even comes back. I don't even know if he's going to be guaranteed to come back. So I mean, it is what it is. SummerSlam right now, they got to turn up the heat on a couple matches because it just feels like we book matches and they're there. Sounds like another company.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But yeah, Cody was on my mush of the week this week.
What you got, Chris?
I'm gonna give it over on AEW side. Last week on Collision, they stripped the Bang Bang Gang of the Trios Championship, and so like they were kind of using the freeboard rule with Jay White being out right now. So like that's how they were treating it. You know, like just the three of them kind of doing their thing with it, which I'm cool with. You know, their group do it. So then they stripped them of the titles just to have them put in a match against the Patriarchy this upcoming week on Collision to see who will be the new champions. It's like, why strip them of the titles? Just have them defend it against the Patriarchy.
No, they're still unified when they're stripped?
Yeah, they're still unified.
Okay.
As of right now. But that was the dumbest angle. That was my Mount Rushmore. And then I figured, I know Chris is going to pick this. I know Chris is going to pick this because of the story that they're telling with it. Not only that, but one, it was stupid to strip them, like you said, Chris. But it's like they said it was because Juice didn't win the belts, and Jay's out injured.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, didn't Samoa Joe step in for Adam Cole to defend the tag team titles with MJF?
That's a good point.
When Cole was out injured. How many other times have we seen people be injured and out in AEW and they still
fill in
had the belts?
Again, like the Freebirds and like New Day. Just use them as examples of, you know, constantly interchanging who the two people are, or the three. You know. It makes no sense.
That was just terrible.
I'm glad they didn't do another tournament, you know, because I would have hated to see that for that. But just like, what are you going to put them in the match for? So if they win it, then it ends their reign and to start a new one. Like, ridiculous.
Yeah, that was trash.
I'm gonna just add. For me, it was SmackDown again with their censorship. Like, it's getting bad. I don't want to say I don't hate Logan Paul, but he's growing on me because what he did last night, might have been the best in-ring he's done. But like, anytime Logan comes out, you're just getting screened to black.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I don't know if they're throwing up the finger or if they're cussing. It's just cutting everything off. Like that's getting too annoying right now. especially with SmackDown. And then for them not to be the ones going to Netflix, I don't know when their deal is up, but this is going to be going on for the foreseeable future.
2 more months.
Two months for.
They go to USA in September.
Oh, SmackDown does?
Yeah.
Okay. So at least they'll mute the crowd, but won't cut the screen to black.
Yeah, certain things will get muted like we see now for Raw.
Yeah.
But I mean,
still not great, but better than the screen to
black.
black.
Just going screen to black.
Yeah. I thought Paul and LA Knight was a good back and forth.
It's the most I enjoyed Paul.
Yeah, he definitely used the recycled rock line that people have said about LA Knight his entire run in WWE. I like the back and forth. The interaction afterwards was a little lackluster for me. Didn't really turn up the volume. Again, it's some of these matches, like we knew we were getting LA Knight and Logan Paul, and they've been doing this thing for a while now.
Yeah.
So what's the next gear? Like again, LA Knight said it last night. Like, yo, I flew to your crib in Puerto Rico and used your home like a bathroom. He just shit on his entire house. And the Logan Paul low T line, blah blah blah. But the line they got you was your brother's the only one in the family with the balls. Like that's the old we're fighting words now, right?
I feel like this played out too long.
Yeah, but just it got to be that next gear, and then what? Logan. So they're going to tape something for next week because Logan, he's obviously going to get involved in the Santos LA Knight match, right? Mm-hmm. So because he was in, they did the double shot with him, and then
which is a stupid decision.
Yeah. So
stupid decision to even book that match in between your title match.
But at least, so they hit the "you got no balls." Oh, those are fighting words line, and then it was your mama fighting words line. They covered both bases.
Yeah,
they covered both bases with the junior high smack talk to book matches last night with those 3 individuals. So, yeah, production.
Right, let's hit on over to our Mount Rushmores of the week.
I mean, first off, the title of the show.
Well, right? If that's the title, if we want to end on that,
we want to keep. We can get into that and then give others because I feel like that may have been one of the first times we had a unanimous Mount Rushmore amongst the panel because I feel like everybody would have that up there as either a 1A or 1B based off of the match itself.
Me? No.
Okay, so if you're different, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I'll go ahead. I'm gonna give mine to Andrade. Last night he got a good reaction with the crowd and is coming off as a face. I didn't see that coming. I don't know how you play this going forward, but to see him and Zelina become like low-key fan favorites right now.
I think what turned him was the spots in the Money in the Bank briefcase match.
Mm-hmm.
Not the speed tournament?
Definitely not the speed tournament.
And then added Mello at the heel. He's the heel right now, so
yeah,
they're loving to hate Mello.
So I don't know if you that's a good point you brought up. But whenever I first noticed it was during his entrance.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have the mask on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
he just came out. He came out no mask, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
We're going babyface Andrade right now.
Have we seen a babyface Andrade? Even in NXT?
No,
like when he was a champ, was he? Oh, okay.
I don't think.
Yeah.
New territory. It's good to see.
Yeah. I mean, if they were testing it out, it worked.
The match with him and Mello last night, I didn't like it until the finishing sequence.
There were too many like spots where you could see them waiting for the next move.
Yeah, like the timing was off, and I was like, "What? Like these two should not be having those types of timing issues where Andrade's just laying there with his legs up in the air waiting for
Yeah.
Melo to come in. Like, and granted, not everybody has chemistry. So like,
Mhm.
but you could see they continue to work through it, and then the finishing sequence was really good. I thought, like the last 4 minutes of that match was really good. But yeah, I'm like, that's kind of took me out in the beginning there.
Yeah. That was interesting to see. So
Melo missed a lot last night, Taquan. He looked like Bronny James last night in the summer league game. He was missing shots all over the place.
caught him 0 for 8.
Yeah.
So we can get into you guys Mount Rushmore. I saw the results and seen it was 59-58, and I was like, yeah, I'm not going back to watch that. Maybe I will probably this week, but an hour-long match for me is like tiresome. So
I brought
caught
it
up.
up.
I didn't watch the whole thing though.
Yeah, I brought it up as unanimous, but I figured Chris would have it on there as his Mount
Yeah.
Rushmore.
Yeah, no doubt.
So I had something else in the chamber ready to go if need be. But
I have like a 1B to talk about, but yeah, it's not nearly what that match was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Were there too many kickouts? Because if you're hitting an avalanche style clash off the top rope, and you're kicking out of that, to me that's kind of on that line of, all right, we're doing too many spots to get the reaction of a 2 count kick out.
Yeah.
Where was that in the match? Like, I don't even remember like the placement of it.
Dude, they hit so many big moves like that where people kicked out, and it was like, all right, we're getting to a point where what up, CWM?
So it's like if it's in the beginning, like if it's earlier in the match, I can maybe justify the kick out. But whenever they do those constant like big moves at the end, like say the last like 10 or 15 minutes, and you can already tell how tired they are, and then they're doing the big moves and kicking out. That's where I kind of limit that disbelief there.
Taquan chooses violence on Saturday with the crowd.
That kind of is what annoys me in a match when I'm watching it. So like say Gunther versus Sami Zayn when he was kicking out, or when Wesley goes on a run and he's kicking out of damn near everything. It gets to a point where it's like, all right, I'm over this shit. I'm annoyed in the match. And that's how I feel that might have became with me if I go back and watch it.
Yeah. It's like, and sometimes it's the announcers that have to help like actually tell that story too.
Mm-hmm.
Like saying, like it's just adrenaline that they're going through right now. Like they might not even know like that they're kicking out. They're just kicking out because that's what they're trained to do.
CWM, wait for our quick hits at the end of the show, because I had that on my list for a quick hitter topic to bring up based on what Jericho had said. So stay tuned for that. We'll get into that after our predictions for Slammiversary.
Now, if you'd have made it a best out of 3 falls match, that would have played out better for me with kickouts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're gonna go 59-58 and it's best out of 3, I could rock with you there with that. But so here's my thing, right? We got MJF cut a great promo announcing he was going to CMLL to take the belt international already. Sitting in an ice bath afterwards.
Interesting. I didn't see that, so that's interesting.
Yeah. But where do you go from here? Right? So are we going to get the rematch at Wembley? You almost have to book that rematch at Wembley because the heat on it right now is so great. You can't drag it out and have them go in different directions like AEW likes to do and then bring them back together for round 2.
And then what do you do for round 2?
How far is Wembley?
End of August. A month away.
Is that the next pay-per-view?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'd run him and Garcia in between that, and then run it back at Wembley. Ospreay.
Or if MJF's planning on doing his international tour, you write him off doing that for a few weeks.
It's a good thing.
So there's stuff they can stick in between, but when you have to run it back at Wembley, and then you have to have Ospreay beat MJF in Wembley, so it's 1-1.
Yeah.
So then they're hot potato on a title that's already a mid-card title that nobody cares about because they have 17 belts in AEW. So what does that do as far as elevating the title? If you have MJF and if you have Ospreay and MJF carry this title, you know, Orange did a good job with it, defending it and that, but it still didn't elevate it up the card to make it seem as important as, you know, some of the other belts.
They need to decide which one they want to keep, the International or was it the Continental? You don't need both of those. They're the same title, doing nothing. Like,
or the TBS.
But now the TBS used to be the main, like the second best.
Yeah.
But I mean,
now you think who's the who's even the TNT championship? TBS is the women's, but who's the TNT champion right now?
TNT's Jack Perry. He won it in the ladder match.
Yeah.
So
he has the belt just to be a champion with the elite at the moment, not to help elevate that belt.
Him and Darby, I think, will go on in London for that belt, just based on them two with the interactions leading up to Blood and Guts. So
I agree with that, Mars. FTW title can go. And that
can go too.
That could be the jabroni every week, honestly. But
that free continental breakfast at every hotel stay, tremendous.
No, then they'll do a sponsorship. The the Motel 6 championship.
Yeah, the Continental Championship brought to you by Holiday Inn Express. Yeah, you got like, where do you go from here with it? The match itself was great. Is it the greatest hour-long match in AEW history? No. You know, a little foreshadowing there.
Sure.
I got my game laid out for next week in regards to that, playing off of this match. So
but kudos to them for going an hour, because I couldn't. I walk up steps and get tired. So
I wasn't expecting it to go an hour. You know, it's just like the longer it was going on, it really wasn't until it got to that half-hour mark that I was like, this is probably going to go the distance now.
Yeah.
And I didn't think we'd actually get a finish.
Yeah, I didn't either.
So, I mean, look,
there was the swerve there.
They loaded it up to get a ratings boost for 250, right?
Yeah. And I'm not complaining. I wouldn't complain about that. I'm not.
Yeah, they had 891,000 from the start of the show throughout that first hour, and then it tapered off towards the end of the show. I think it dropped down to like 840 or something like that. So
that's another jabroni people complaining for, or mush people complaining about giving it away on free TV. Sometimes we need rewarded for watching free TV, and it was down to like 250. Yeah. So,
and the one thing I will say also that they were smart. If you're gonna do the non-finish in Okada and Swerve because of Blood and Guts, which is what we got in the main event, you got to reward the fans with a banger with Ospreay and MJF, right? Like you have to. You can't give no finishes for both of those matches.
You can't build to that.
Yeah,
you had your build first thing in the show,
right? Yeah, like, you know, you got off early and you're just smoking a cigarette afterwards. That's what it was, right? Like, you know, I'm not going to talk about Nyla getting her new women's champ match that she gets, and we'll be off TV for another 7 months because that's a whole nother different topic. But yeah, if you're doing the smallest finish with the end, then, and I think Okada and Swerve did enough to whet my appetite to see them two go and actually have a proper match and a proper feud. But that match definitely didn't deserve the finish when you were doing it to set up Blood and Guts next week. So
I'm cool with Okada doing the gimmick that he's doing right now with the Elite. I don't need Okada, you know, drooling all over Mercedes Moné.
It's getting hot in here. So yeah, MJF and Ospreay was great. And to come around the 1 year anniversary mark of when FTR and the Bang Bang Egg had their 1 hour classic on Collision.
When did MJF and Bryant have theirs. Was that at Revolution last year?
I think so.
So over a year from that. So
Yeah.
once a year, plenty. You know, I don't need much more than that.
Yeah. I just you know, where do you go next? You had it. It set the tone. MJF won by using the diamond ring. So Ospreay has beef to get a rematch. Like let's continue to build, and from where we were a couple weeks ago when it looked like we weren't going to get Ospreay and MJF at All In to begin with, to now, okay, we've had this fantastic match and title change hands. Let's run it back. But here's my thing: if you set up an hour-long match with a title change and you run it back at All In, you're not going to give them another hour.
No.
So what do you do then?
That's why I said that's why you have to give it something. You have to have some type of stipulation on this next match now. It can't just be 60-minute time limit match. Because if they're already doing that, you got to have. I don't want it to be like no DQ, but you got to do something to justify maybe a half-hour match of hard-hitting action for that to finish in that amount of time instead of going the distance.
Yeah. Anything else on Ospreay and MJF? Chris, was that your actual Mount Rushmore this week?
That was my Mount Rushmore, yeah.
For me, I'm sticking in the promo wise this week. Mariah May, tremendous, coming out damn near identical twin to Tony Storm in the gimmick itself.
Confused me for a second.
Yeah, I had to double take too.
Fantastic, right? I love the way she cut the promo. She walked right up to the ropes and hung over the top rope and cut the promo into the hard cam the entire time in that same spot, which is different. We haven't seen that. So like, I love the presentation of it. Love what she said. And now this upcoming week, we get the debut of Mariah May. So they're continuing the transition away from Tony into glamorous, Mariah May. So, and play on the tagline, now all about Mariah instead of AEW. So kudos, Mariah May. Loved everything about it. The pop Tony's going to get when she comes back is going to be tremendous.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this match at All In. I think the payoff's going to be worth the build.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my most anticipated matches for sure. It probably has the one that has the most storyline going into it.
One of them.
Yeah.
And I thought they did a good job continuing Britt and Mercedes this week too. So
that's continuing on. We'll see where Ospreay and MJF goes too. So we got the time. So we'll see how these stories keep continuing on as we build All In.
So you're the build for All In is better than the build for SummerSlam right now? Is that how we're all feeling?
We'll see as it gets closer, but at the moment, it's building up
right now, where even though SummerSlam's 2 weeks out, right now, I would say yes. Just because SummerSlam outside of Punk and McIntyre, which we don't know if we're actually going to get still, they're hoping.
The way Monday went, I think we're going to be seeing Rollins and McIntyre.
Oh, I think Rollins is going to be the special guest referee for that match.
So we're going to pull the Brett Taker match with Shawn Michaels as the ref.
Pull the rug out from Drew McIntyre again.
And then it's up Hell in a Cell. So we're just going to repeat 97 all over again.
Yep. So, yeah. All right.
Real quick, thought on the latest tape.
I thought so that it was between her. It was between Rowan and Mariah as far as my Mount Rushmore this week. The only reason why I left Rowan off, and it's not a knock on what he did, is Mount Rushmore, because it definitely deserved to be up there. I thought it was the best tape that was done so far. I thought it was the most realistic take so far. Like the whole first tape with Bo. So how did you feel when your brother died? Like that shit cut. And don't get me wrong, Bo was definitely real in that moment.
Yeah. But you had him playing off himself, so you can disconnect.
Yeah, this was, Rowan losing two brothers.
Mm.
We all know family's not necessarily blood, right? There's plenty of people out there that we consider more family than actually blood. Um, and Bray and Brody were definitely that for Rowan, and the fact that he's lost both now.
Yeah.
And I think he touched on like really where he was at mentally and everything else. Like
I'm sure.
it's a lot. That's a lot of grief to go through in a very short period of time with
Yeah.
losing two people that close and what it can do to your psyche. So I absolutely loved everything about it. Now, on the flip side of that coin, we're continuing to run tapes out here for another 3 weeks
You don't
because
want it.
you need to get Gacy's story out there. You need to get Loomis's story out there and Nikki's.
You
That
should.
man,
Yeah.
I honestly don't need their stories.
You don't. But if you're doing that, you could have split that up.
Yeah.
Rowan and Bose. Put some
and the
time
table
between them.
set with the feud.
But at least
You got the Creed brothers
this week
joining
we
Gable.
finally At least
Love
this week
the
we finally
suits
we're building
coming out.
towards something else instead of just getting a tape.
Yeah.
At least we got
Yeah.
some Bo coming out with Gable and everything. So yeah, at least it was moving forward a little bit more.
Bose selling his ass off.
Yeah, that was good. I enjoyed that segment.
Yeah.
Let's hop on over to these predictions.
All right.
And the way they delivered the tape this week was fantastic as well.
Which I think was how they originally wanted to do them.
Mm.
But with Pat having to take the time off.
Yeah, for his father-in-law leaving. Yeah.
All right, Slammiversary, we got 11 matches, 3 countdown, and then the rest on the main show. Let's get this started with the countdown matches. Got Zaya Brookside, Giselle Shaw, Tasha Steeles, and Fabi Apache.
Fabi Apache. Give me Tasha and Fabi. I love Fabi. Fabi's great. Not a lot.
This is a 4-way match, not a tag match.
Oh, my bad. I thought it was a tag. Yeah, still give me Fabi.
Okay.
Even though she probably won't, they'll probably give it to Zaya. Fabi's fantastic.
I don't know Fabi at all.
Yeah, me neither.
I haven't seen anything.
Mexico, CMLL, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, CMLL. Really good worker. Has had really good matches in the past. So yeah, from a fan favorite standpoint, I want Fabi in this spot to pick up a win, but I don't think they'll go that route.
We'll go Tasha Steeles.
They've been pushing the hell out of Giselle Shaw. I'm going Giselle Shaw on this one. Up next, Kushida versus Jonathan Gresham.
This is going to be low-key sleeper of the night, match of the night potential with these two. Gresham's new gimmick. Yeah, it's the black ink versus the green mist. I'll go Gresham.
Same. I don't know how. I'd be very surprised if Kushida won this.
Gresham.
Across the board. All right, for the TNA Knockouts Tag Team Championship, Alicia Edwards and Masha Slamovich versus Spitfire.
Alicia.
Countdown?
Yep.
Yeah.
You better have a stacked card.
Card is loaded. I think you can make the case to switch this match with one other match on the main card.
There's a couple I think could be switched, but
I'll go Alicia. The system's rocking and rolling right now. They're not going to have her lose the belt.
They've been jockeying this lately, haven't they? Give me Edwards and Slammiversary attorney.
I'm going to do the same. Yeah, I'd be surprised if they drop the titles tonight. All right, onto the main card. Santana versus Jake something. This is one of the matches I think that match could have flipped with.
True, but I think this is another low-key sleeper. Jake something to me is somebody that's like just waiting to get that one moment to like really catapult him off. Santana's fantastic.
Oh yeah.
So
I have no problem with either one of these guys in the ring.
Yeah. the story's been good building up to it. I'll go with Santana.
Give me Santana.
Yeah, he's the one that just came back, so you gotta give it to Santana. If this had some type of stipulation going for something, maybe I'd feel a little different, but we'll see. Matt Hardy versus JDC.
This is the match that I would flip out.
Okay. This is
And
yeah, I could see this one too.
we're getting this match because they did a structure job with Jeff to take him out, obviously because he's not allowed in Canada based on his past legal issues. So they had to write him off for that. It's continuing the story between Matt Hardy and the system. I'll go with JDC here. And for those of you that don't know who JDC is, it's the former Dango.
I'm never going to pick Matt Hardy.
Yeah.
Give me JDC. Even though storyline, he'll probably win. I'm never going to pick Matt Hardy.
It just depends on how much if they're going to continue this because they're going to be taping in Montreal for however many weeks.
Tomorrow,
So how long is Jeff actually going to be off of TV for? So they just continue the story until Jeff returns, or is this kind of like finishing up part of it? Matt's probably going to win. Match I'm looking forward to: Rascals versus No Quarter Catch Crew.
Yeah, they done TNA
NXT.
Really good job tying this in on both shows. Giving build up. We got the Treehouse return on Impact this week. Great spot watching those guys in the Treehouse doing the gimmick again with the Rascals. I got the Rascals winning this. You're not going to have that reunion after 4 years with them three and not have them win. So
I agree, Rascals.
I agree, Rascals, but that Catch Crew has grown on me. I just wish I wish Damon was still in the group instead of being Future Endeavor. Could have been him instead of that Miles Bourne.
This has very much potential to be match of the night.
Possibly.
So very different layout of styles, and sometimes that works. So
yeah.
We'll see. All right. Another title match. TNA Digital Media and International Heavyweight Wrestling Championships on the line with AJ Francis versus PCO.
This could have been on the pre-show and flipped out for the Knockouts Tag Championship. Agreed. But you can't always have the Digital Media Championship on the pre-show because then it absolutely means nothing.
That's why it's the Digital Media Championship.
That's true too. What
up, Devin?
On, What's going on?
Hit up the tribal chief over there.
Yeah, I'll go with AJ Francis to retain.
No way you're putting this belt on PCO. No,
with no social media presence at all.
So I don't know if you got Steve, Jason. I'm sure you didn't watch it, but Steve, I don't know if you watched the press conference.
I did.
It was so weird seeing PCO out of character.
Yeah,
and I can totally see why he does this character now because that was just awful.
Like, it's like 90s Undertaker out of character. Yeah. I don't never want to see that again.
And just him talking on the mic, it's like you just did nothing to sell this match. But PCO is from Montreal, so you're in Montreal. Do you give him this and one other match? We'll discuss this type of stipulation with it. Do you give it to him just because? Yeah.
I mean,
look, no.
It's not going to hurt. It's really not going to hurt the belt either way. I just think AJ just won it, so I don't see why you would have him drop it. But I think him beating PCO in Montreal is a way to get more heat on AJ.
Yeah.
So keep it with AJ.
And I'm not sure where they're going to, Steph's not around right now, or if she comes back for this event, I don't know. But I see that going somewhere else, so I don't necessarily need the title part of their storyline either. So,
yeah.
AJ to retain.
I'm gonna double back to that out of character after we do the predictions. With Undertaker.
All right, we got the TNA World Tag Team titles: The System versus ABC. It's gonna be a good match, but
yeah, another one. I'll go System.
If I got one of the System winning, I'm gonna keep them all winning. Go with the system.
That's how I kind of feel with this, and I feel like they're doing something different with ABC right now. That they're not just going to put the belts on them to put the belts on them, and that's how I feel like this would be. Like it's continue the story, system retains. Up next, the X Division Championship: Mustafa Ali versus Mike Bailey.
I think this is going to be my match of the night. I'm going to get that spoiler out there early before we do the end of predictions. I think these two are absolutely going to tear the house down. They've done a great job building this. They've done a great job building this match. Ali has been fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Speedball is your classic underdog babyface. He got the beat down last week.
Have you noticed that they're phasing out the Speedball name?
Yeah, which I'm okay with.
Yeah.
I don't mind that. You can keep that on the indies when you're doing indie shots. That's fine. But the only pause in my prediction for Ali retaining is that I've heard so much back and forth on where he stands and what his contract is like with TNA.
Yeah.
So like the Hardys aren't on a contract with TNA, they're on a per date basis.
Okay.
Ali's contract, I heard allegedly was up, and he's on a per date basis now. Hasn't re-signed. So I don't know what you do with that. If you drop the title, then to me that means Ali's done with TNA, and I really don't want him to be done with TNA yet.
I agree.
I feel like it's a really good spot for him.
There was a couple weeks ago where the rumor was Ali was backstage at AEW.
Yeah.
You know, so we'll see if that has any play into this as well.
I'm letting the off the thing dictate my. I'm letting the outer ring dictate in ring on my pick. I'm going with Mike Bailey.
And this is that other match that I was talking about where Mike Bailey's from the Montreal area. So if you're going to put the title on him, what better place to put the title on him? But I think I'm gonna go with Ali to retain.
Give me Bailey. Yeah, I don't see Ali running back to WWE at all right now. I think that the taste in his mouth is still bitter when it comes to them. I don't think he's been gone long enough to go back yet. I could be completely wrong because we've seen quick turnarounds and comebacks,
Sure.
you know, from people in the past. But I just think he's really soured. Bitter is not the right word. Sour, I would say, it's based off of.
I just feel like he doesn't need to go to NXT.
No.
Yeah, it would get a little more exposure for him right now, but he doesn't need that route. He's doing fine on his own, doing what he's doing.
Yeah.
All right. TNA Knockouts World Championship. Jordan Grace versus Ash by Elegance. And I'll do this one real quick. Jordan Grace.
Yeah. Jordan Grace.
Anything to talk about here?
Well, match-wise, no. But Jordan did say in an interview this week, surprises are going to be galore throughout this show. And she's really excited about what they have in store. So I don't know what we can get instead of if AJ Styles isn't returning tonight, I don't know what surprise is going to have me go, holy shit. And I've been thinking about it since I read the comments.
Okay.
But you never know. So, like, the anticipation for seeing what TNA does, given where they're at with this partnership with NXT, I'm really looking forward to what they sprinkle in. And Slammiversary has been the show in recent years where you do get the surprises. So the stuff's going to happen. It's going to pop off on this show tonight. I'm excited to see what they have in store. But Jordan, hands down, this shouldn't even be a competitive match.
I love Tatum Paxley, but don't let it be Tatum Paxley.
Yeah.
Got to be something, a bigger pop for me, a bigger awe moment.
Steve, you brought up AJ. If AJ does come back, does it have to include a Hall of Fame induction for him?
That would be my preference.
Okay.
Because we've seen them put active people in. In the TNA Hall of Fame at Bound for Glory is not necessarily the same as the WWE Hall of Fame as far as pop and circumstance. It's usually one person that they announce. So I wouldn't mind seeing AJ get his proper due for TNA and get inducted into the Hall of Fame. that way.
You give him a match,
Especially with him coming down the road. I absolutely want to see a match, and it has to be against Josh Alexander. That would be AJ Swansong and TNA go into the Hall of Fame, wrestle Alexander, wrap up your WWE dates, and ride off into the sunset as arguably a Mount Rushmore of pro wrestling.
I mean, and Alexander's contract's up next year. What else would he have to prove in TNA if, other than winning the TNA championship, officially? But
yeah, if I didn't get the Kenny Omega, Josh Alexander match whenever AEW and TNA had their partnership, and I just got them interacting in the hallway, if there was a time to do the oh shit match, it's AJ and Josh.
Mm-hmm.
Hands down. It writes itself. So whether or not WWE would let AJ do that, it's different headspace.
Yeah.
Granted, it's only NXT talent, not main roster talent, but there's an exception for AJ given the history. So I feel
he's been going to Japan now, so why not?
It's a really good way to kind of put a bow on AJ's career from all sides of things. He went back to Japan. He can come back to TNA, WWE, and call it a career.
Yep. All right. Final match. 6-way elimination match. Moose, Namath, Josh, Kazarian, Steve Macklin, Joe Hendry.
Now, we've talked all throughout these predictions about the system continuing to win and continuing to hold the gold. If you do that, you're foreshadowing the main event.
Mm.
However, there was ever a time to cash. There was ever a time to cash in on a talent with organic growth that is over, like Rover. You got to put the belt on Josh Hendry, or at least you got to have the discussions about putting the belt on Josh Hendry. Or Joe Hendry. I'm sorry, Joe Hendry. I was talking about Josh Alexander last second. Now, and he's in this match, but you got to. I mean, if you're not having those discussions as TNA right now, with as hot as Joe Hendry is, and in the amount of places where his face is at,
he said he's sticking around NXT for foreseeable future. So putting the title on NXT would be a great thing too. The only thing I go back and forth with on this match is I would love to see Joe Hendry win tonight. I think that would be a smart move for them to have him win. Like you said, Steve, he's very hot. This could be the discussion to do. But could you imagine if Moose retains tonight and we book a Bound for Glory match of Moose versus Joe Hendry? The amount of shit Joe Hendry does to Moose over the next couple months, like it would be the summer of Joe Hendry.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason why I go back and forth on this, that I think it would be very entertaining and must see stuff. Like you could have Joe doing his thing on NXT. And even though if he would have the belt, that'd be great exposure for TNA. But I think if you just keep building him up and you have him just literally like poking the bear against Moose every week or every couple weeks, however they would want to do it, I think you're building him up more. And I think a Bound for Glory match would be a big payoff too.
Yeah, that's smart. That's smart booking based on what Joe Hendry does.
Yeah. And then I don't necessarily need the system to break up. But once somebody drops the belt, whoever the first person is out of that group to break it up, those pieces are just going to domino. So we'll see if that starts tonight or if it happens later.
Now, Nick Nemeth did on Busted Open yesterday. He is going to wrestle in this match, but he did say he is injured.
Okay.
So it'll be interesting watching how they structure the match. I don't know what his injury is. He didn't really deep dive into it, but he did say he is injured. However, he is going to wrestle tonight. So we'll see where that goes. Like he's had his beef with Frankie Kazarian, so that could be an offshoot of this match to, longer feud wise. You could pair Alexander and Macklin up. Seen that before. And then Joe and Moose for Bound for Glory. I like that booking. So you swayed me with that, Chris, and I'll go Moose to retain.
Yeah, Steve or Chris, you swayed me too. I was thinking Alexander and then have Moose transition over to not transition over to NXT, but you can get that Moose Oba match that they were talking about. But what you just said, book it. Give me Moose to retain.
And again, if Joe Hendry wins tonight, I'm not going to be upset over it.
Yeah, no.
I think that's a smart move. They do it, but I think if you just try to go a little long-term booking, I'm also going to go Moose to retain tonight. Steve, you might be. I don't know how you feel about this match. Being a 6-way elimination match, do you think they should have brought back King of the Mountain for this?
I thought about it.
Being as that was a Slammiversary staple for so many years.
Yeah, especially because this is the 20th anniversary of Slammiversary.
Yeah.
Like, I think it would have been nice to do. I see it both ways. Me personally, I think I would have preferred them to do the King of the Mountain match. Just given it being 20 years. And like you said, it was such a staple of Slammiversary. That was the main event of Slammiversary for however many years. I don't see why
it hasn't been done in a while. So it would have felt fresh again.
Yeah.
For maybe a new audience that didn't tune into it before.
Or hasn't seen it. Yeah. All right. I already gave my match of the night. What do you guys have for match of the night?
I'm going Rascals and Quarter Catch Crew.
Give me the main event.
All right. There you have it for predictions for Slammiversary. Tune in tonight. Let us know. Hit us up on social media what we got right, what we got wrong. Jay, do we got a game this week?
We do. We have random this or that.
And this is random in the world of pro wrestling, correct?
In the world of pro wrestling. Yep.
All right. Ooh.
Daly's Place is Full Sail.
Full Sail.
Full Sail.
I like Daly's Place, surprisingly. Just different.
Okay. Yeah, it was different. Experiencing Full Sail live, that was probably one of the closest things that remind me of ECW. It was a very good experience down there.
Andre.
I got to go Big Show just because I've seen more Big Show.
Yeah, I mean, Seymour, Big Show, but I think Andre was kept special.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Big Show was not.
No.
And when you're that large in that type of, ninth wonder of the world type of presentation, you got to keep that special. So that's why I picked Andre. Sharpshooter.
Jason's gonna lie to her.
You know I.
Give me the good old Boston Crab. Just Boston Crab.
About the 4-leaf clover.
Love the 4-leaf clover. Used to use that as my finishing move in backyard wrestling.
Dean Malenko, great talent. I gotta go Attitude Era.
This gets a lot of debate online.
Again, this to me is where you were at in your life when you were watching each one of these eras. For me, Attitude Era was that. So
if you grew up in Attitude Era, it's Attitude. If you're going back to watch the Attitude Era, you're probably thinking Ruthless Aggression. Attitude Era.
Listen, Ruthless Aggression Era was great. Developed a lot of young talent that we're still seeing today. So it's carried over 20 years now. But I think a lot of when people think back to the Ruthless Aggression Era, they forget how bad some of that TV was there for a while. Like there was a while that Raw and SmackDown were just unwatchable for a bit.
And I mean, the Ruthless Aggression Era had more longevity than the Attitude Era. Now, longevity doesn't always equal what's good, but at the same time, it was a longer run in that Ruthless Aggression Era.
No holds barred.
I mean, you got a comedy. You got a comedy.
Terrible movies, but
actually, I'm going Ready to Rumble because the rewatchability on these two movies, no holds barred watching it back, is just so.
Probably cringe.
I watched it on Tubi one time wrapping Christmas presents a couple years ago. And I was so mad at myself for rewatching that movie.
That was probably the longest you ever wrapped Christmas presents. It
No.
took longer.
I loved every moment of it whenever I rewatched it. But it's one of those movies. It's terrible, and you know it's terrible going into it. You just enjoy it because it's terrible.
I will say though, Zeus as a kid watching that movie scared the living daylights out of me.
Terrifying.
Oh man, you're tugging at my heartstrings here. Miss Elizabeth was like my first crush ever. Yeah, we gotta go Miss Elizabeth.
If you asked me this as a kid, it was Miss Elizabeth. But now, just appreciating Sherry so much more, I gotta go Sherry.
I gotta go. Yeah, same with Sherry.
Just incredible talent.
Stadium Stampede.
They're both terrible.
Blood and guts.
You guys know how I am with cinematic matches, so I can't pick Stadium Stampede. Give me Blood and Guts. I gotta pick out these two. But
Stadium Stampedes have all been enjoyable for me. Blood and Guts, not so much.
I've enjoyed Anarchy in the Arena more than I've enjoyed Stadium Stampede.
That's just Blood and Guts in the arena.
Yeah. Stadium Stampede in the arena. Just
all right.
I do believe that's it. Any quick hitters before we wrap this show up?
Yeah, to circle back around, this was on my list from a comment earlier in the show. Chris Jericho was talking this week, and we got the Olympics coming up, and he was talking about making pro wrestling an Olympic sport.
no.
You can't do
No, you can't do WWE in the Olympics.
So he said
defeats the whole purpose of the Olympics.
No, well, his reasoning behind it was that you're not judging it. It's not based off of the finish.
Mm-hmm.
Much like figure skating, it's based off of the routine. So you're basing it off of the entire match, not the finish. So, I think he gave the example of him and Kenny go out there for Canada, do a match. You rate it however you point system it. You have, say, Danielson and Moxley from the US come out and do their match. Okada and whoever from Japan would do their match, and then you would rate it up. We'll never see it, obviously. I thought
you just found out what AEW is doing next year, though.
Now, no matter how he explains it, it doesn't go for me. Plus, you don't know who likes what style. You can't be biased as a whole.
Same with figure skating, though, right? Like,
I mean, you have a
it's like I get
a difficulty of moves and stuff.
Yeah, like I get like the okay, we're gonna judge it like gymnastics and figure skating, like that, because it's a routine and everything else. And there's different difficulties for the pommel horse versus the rings versus the uneven bars, and you could set up, a technical match versus a high flying match versus a brawling match, like. But
there's things like
it'll never make the Olympics.
No, because there's things like who do you give the points to on a move, say like the Canadian Destroyer? Like P.D. Williams is technically the one that's on the offense there, but the other person that he's doing it to is the one executing the maneuver.
No, I thought he was talking. Are you talking like the whole match gets a point as for like Canada?
Yeah, like
so there's no heels. You just have two people put on a match, and that whole match gets graded.
Correct.
Compared to like America's match.
Right. Just like in gymnastics, Team USA versus like Russia.
So you're facing heels on the same team getting judged together.
Right. For the entire match
team.
It's not,
like, the AEW game coming next summer.
Season 5 of Fight Forever.
It'll be just like I liked whatever TNA did, the World X Cup. But I mean that's kind of a little bit of what you're seeing there.
Yeah. So it'll never happen, but you know,
I can understand why he thinks it should. You know, it's the sport he's been a part of for so many years, but never gonna happen.
yeah. I brought up MJF's promo going to CMLL to defend his title. We had a surprise at the GCW event last night. Did you guys see who
No, I didn't.
showed up?
Mm-hmm.
Raj Desi, the modern day Maharaja, made his GCW debut last night. His 90-day no compete ended Thursday. He showed up in GCW last night, attacked Effie. So that'll be his first feud in GCW with a fan favorite. So Jinder was on Chris Van Vliet's show this week as well, talking about a lot of things. And I think he gets a bad rap based on what he did in WWE. And I think he has a lot more to offer outside of WWE to show people what a talent he can be. And we'll see where this goes from this GCW start.
When's Bloodsport?
The next weekend.
Next weekend? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
That card's looking good.
Yeah. You got both Creed brothers on there. They haven't announced them. I don't think they've announced like a main event. Like we got Moxley versus Barnett last time. I don't know who's going to be in that position.
Yeah, last I saw was like there might have been 5 matches announced, and then there were still talent that they hadn't booked anything yet. So
yeah,
I might try to watch that one.
Yeah. We didn't talk about Gunther and Priest on this show. I thought it really good back and forth. Priest is a babyface.
That's the only thing I'm struggling with, because then you're gonna have Rhea go babyface. Like, what do you?
Rhea, based off of Monday Night, Rhea's babyface too.
Yeah,
it's like
the Judgment Day's the heels.
So like, we'll see how that story would live and continue. I think it's going to set up to where Dom costs Rhea and Liv retains at SummerSlam. But
I'm thinking too.
And how did Liv have a wet soggy T-shirt on with nipple rings on the outside? I'm confused. I'm impressed, but confused.
One of the things I didn't understand was Rhea knows what's been going on, and then she looks at Priest and goes, "Why is Carlito in here?" Like, so you know what's going on this whole time, but you don't know why he's there.
Yeah. Speaking of Joe Hendry, there's a really good. If you want to see what Joe Hendry's all about, he did his full shtick with Elijah last night.
Yeah, that was good.
Formerly Elias of the WWE, and it is classic Joe Hendry as to why he's as over as he is right now. So if you haven't seen that, go to Joe Hendry's social media page. He got that on there. Tremendous stuff. And then let's see, do I have anything else? Charlie Dempsey got announced for Bloodsport as well. Yeah. So you have the Creeds plus Dempsey. Again, really good to turn that on. And this is outside of pro wrestling. But I don't know if anybody saw it. Did you see the Arena Football Championship was played inside of a mall?
Just from what you sent over.
Yeah.
Yeah. The American Dream Shopping Mall. And you want to talk about a viewing spectacle? Seeing an arena football game set up and played inside of a mall was like one of the craziest viewing experiences I think I've ever seen.
WCW debut of Nitro, Mall of America.
Good or bad?
It was I wouldn't say bad, but it made it extremely Bush League.
Okay.
Like I like watching arena football. I like watching arena football.
Time, yeah.
Like, if there's nothing else on, throw it on. It's entertaining to me. Like there was a team here in Pittsburgh for a while. Mm-hmm. So yeah, like I will throw on arena football here and there. It's way better than the fan control football league that used to be out, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think putting it inside of a mall made it like very, for a wrestling term, carny. Like it just, yeah. Yeah. It was like y'all used to be in arenas, you used to be on ESPN on Friday nights, and now you're in a shopping mall. Like, what are we doing? So
Doesn't make it arena football whenever it's in a mall.
So speaking of football and local, shout out to our 18 and under flag football team from around here. Our own Woodland Hills team is in the Steelers region, and they're advancing to the championship to play in the flag championships for the NFL.
Interesting.
Yeah.
When's that get played?
There's a game on. I think they play at. I think the championship is at 4 today,
Okay.
and it's all on ESPN too.
Just talking on the phone again, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Give a shout out to one of our local own. Lady Frost won the first ever Fight Factory Women's Championship this week. She was pretty excited because referee Mike Kyoto was the ref for that. So
when are we getting the damn graphic for her? She's still not signed.
yeah, she's just
What
doing
are
her
we
thing.
doing?
I think she might just be happy, like balancing all the different events she goes to.
Mm-hmm.
Like, give her the contract already.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
Let her still do the independence. If you guys didn't watch two documentaries, there's a Will Ospreay one on YouTube that he did, kind of like, yeah, him wrapping up his Japan run and Indy run, and then also the Miz biography on A&E this week was really good.
Really good.
Both of those this week.
Yeah, I don't get A&E, so I'm gonna have to search for that.
Yeah,
I understand.
Maybe head on over to the old YouTube and see if we get that there.
I got to give it to poor Sheamus getting his new music this week. Just terrible. Like the next hit in WWE music.
Music misses.
Yeah. I felt they were trying to hype it, like, oh, listen to that. Like, no.
There's some things you can't.
Yeah. Especially like whenever that's been ingrained for so long.
Yeah.
And then this week, NXT announced 2 more events. They're doing No Mercy in September and then Halloween Havoc in October. Mm-hmm. So they're taking a break technically in October, not having a PLE. How do you guys feel about more consistent NXT events, like back-to-back months? Like we had one in June, we had one in July. Now we're going to have one in September and October. I like when our takeovers were like around the big 4.
Yeah.
If they do takeovers around the big 4 and then they sprinkle in like Bash at the Beach, Halloween Havoc, like those type of throughout the year, and we get 3 or 4 of those, I'm cool. That'll give you like roughly 8, right? 7 or 8 for NXT, which I think is a sweet spot for what they have going on. You can stretch the TV events over 2 weeks, which we've seen them do, like night 1 of Halloween Havoc, night 2. Yeah. So
like they're going to do Great American Bash coming up soon, and
don't get me wrong, they've been delivering all the PLEs lately, just like match-wise. They've been over-delivering, but space it out for me.
Yeah, I don't necessarily need it back-to-back months. If they did maybe every other month, so like a total of 6 maybe, I think that might be a good sweet spot for them, like to have some time to build, and then if you want to do something on TV for that month, just to carry a story over or start something new. But yeah, I don't necessarily need it back-to-back. That's all I had.
And shout out to Willow Nightingale. She's the new CMLL Women's Champ.
CMLL Women's Heavyweight Championship. She won the belt that they stripped from Stephanie Vaquer. Mm-hmm. So Willow's making a hell of a case to be Women's Wrestler of the Year.
She can be up there.
We got a couple months left before we get into those. We didn't do halfway point. There's just been so much going on with premium live events, pay-per-views, everything else, that we didn't feel the need to drop who you got for Wrestler of the Year, et cetera, midway through the year.
Wait for the year end.
Yeah, her name is definitely up there for what she's done so far this year. So,
all right, Jason.
Is that it? Okay. Thank you for tuning into this week's episode of Dumb Marks Podcast. I almost did the recap. And so to find us on all social media, find us on all social media platforms at dumbmarkspod.com.
Stutter.
Like
Stutter.
that. Shut up. My sister used to call me Stuttering Stanley, and I hated that shit. Steve, what's our email?
Dumbmarkspod@gmail.com.
Okay, like and subscribe for us
Everything
on
below.
Spotify. Everything below? Oh, then why am I saying it? I could have read that shit. Okay. I'm working on it.
Been paying
Please.
attention to these almost
You're
200
working on
episodes.
it. We've been doing the show for almost 4 years, and you're working on it still. What are we doing?
We're only 1 year in as taking hosting jobs. So, and this is maybe like my 12th time host. I don't know. I don't remember right now. But thank you for watching. And with all the shit we digest every day, be kind to your mind. That's our close of the week.